Glory to Jesus Christ.
Glory forever.
So today we have the woman, the woman from Canaan, who is not Jewish, who left Tyre and Sidon to come see the Messiah, to come see Jesus Christ, and in order that she might be healed of her, that her daughter would be healed of her maladies. And we do that, we see that she was tested. She was tested. First thing he said, I am sent but for the lost, for the children of Israel. And he said, I can't give the breadcrumbs to anything but the children of Israel. Paraphrasing. And then he goes on to say, and she goes on, but Master, anyway, when he gets to the part where the dogs eating the crumbs from the table, and she equates herself to be a dog in that sense, that legacy. Of course, she's very humble. The Lord sees her faith. And in one other occasion, he sees faith like that, and he says, I've not seen such great faith, not even in all of Israel. So then her daughter is healed. Now, she's not Jewish, so he didn't come to save her necessarily. I mean, it wasn't like he came to save the children of Israel. He declares this, and yet she, like the woman at the well, Fotini, perseveres. She stays with him. She doesn't relent. She doesn't run away. She doesn't back off. She's not insulted. The more she speaks, the more humble she is, actually. Humble, humility, It's a wonderful virtue to aspire to. And then he heals her. He heals her of her maladies. And, in the Old and New Testament, but especially in the New Testament, faith and belief are really important aspects of our life in Christ. In fact, without faith, how can you even call yourself a Christian, really? Faith is really is probably the most important thing. But there's a reward for those who are faithful in this world. And the reward is this, that you will be with God forever in paradise, and you will never have to have faith again because you'll never leave his side. You'll be with him always. And so in our lives as living in this world, and you see the world the way it is and all that, and we talk about this very often. But the truth is that, do we have faith even as a grain of mustard seed? Do we actually believe what Jesus said, follow me? Do we follow after him? Do we believe it? And I think that for the most part people do try to believe it, but we do have these moments in time when we are negligent in our faith, we're negligent in our belief system. Usually it's when something serious occurs. Usually it's something really terrible happens in the world or in our personal lives. We lose out on our faith. Our faith just kind of vanishes. And what kind of faith is the faith that we're talking about here? We're talking about the faith that starts every morning that you wake up, and every night that you go to bed, and every moment in between. A faith that follows after him. It's something, again, it's what the fathers talk about, it's what the church preaches and teaches, it's what all the holy saints have preached and spoken of, all for all of it. And yesterday we had the parable of the 10 virgins, the five that had the oil and the 5 that didn't have the oil. And the ones that did have the oil were those who were faithful, those who were blessed by God because they served. The ones that didn't were the ones that, although they may have acknowledged God in some capacity in their life or their lifestyle, they did not make it a point to follow after his commandments. They were not able to, they didn't have any oil in the lamp. In their lamp. The lamp went out, they wanted oil, they hoped for oil, they thought oil was great, but so they went to the money changers, they went to the people that sell oil, and when they got back, they were too late for it. Again, they did not live a life that was bound in faith. They lived a life bound in their own decision making, what they like, what they don't like, how they solve problems, how they do things. You know, that's kind of our self-willed tendency in this world, is to do the things that we like to do and do them the way we like to do them. And we just say, well, God bless us. You know, we just say it as an afterthought as opposed to a forethought, a thought that comes first. Well, God, I pray that you'll bless this activity that I'm about to endeavor to engage in. If you do that for every activity, he's going to lead you. But if you don't, then you're leading yourself. It's just kind of like we have this discussion in the classes on Wednesday. We had this about things that what do you ask for a blessing for? When do you ask for a blessing? Father John, when do I ask for a blessing for anything for the things that I do? First off, you ask God for a blessing. Secondly, if it involves the priest, then you call him up on the phone. You say, Father, I'm about to endeavor to do this thing or that thing or the other thing, and will you bless me? And like 99% of the time, it's, of course, God bless you. If there may be a question or two, that comes as a result, but nevertheless, you seek that blessing. And I've found that people who seek the blessings for their life and for their livelihood and for how they proceed in life, the people that seek that blessing are those that understand that things don't always go your way. Things are not always perfect for you. You're not always going to have, in quotes, good luck, because we don't believe in luck. But we're not going to have good providence. Good providence could be a difficult situation. It could be a great situation. You could be impoverished living on the streets of Los Angeles. You could be rich living in a mansion in Bel Air. Providence works everywhere. It's us. It's we who have to trust in his divine providence. God wills, God allows in our life, and pray that he will carry us forward one day at a time. Because, see, our life is not in this world. We have life in this world, and we think that it is pretty good for the most part. But we have life in this world, but that's not the life that he intends for us. He intends for us in this life to live a life that is based on faith, love, hope, charity, all those beautiful virtues that we, and mostly humility, based in humility, as we go about our daily tasks, we're humbled because we know that without Jesus Christ, we could do nothing. This woman, who is a woman of Canaan, and she, not a Jew, rebuffed by God by his comments, I came to save the lost sheep of Israel. And she says, yes, but I need it too. Please, Lord, I need it. And then he says, well, equates the idea of the dog and the crumbs that fall from the master's table. And she said, yes, like the dogs, I will eat from the crumbs that fall from the master's table. I will eat even the crumbs that fall, because I know one crumb, one touch of the hem of his garb, one thing will bring healing to my daughter's soul. And so she knew that, she understood that, she had faith in that, she had complete faith. And in fact, in that time period, people would come running, sprinting to Jesus Christ to have him just heal them, to offer. There's so many healings he did, which, if we were to say record each one, even the world would not be big enough. All the things that he did as he walked those 3 years in ministry amongst the people of Israel. And so, for us, let us, brothers and sisters, for us it's important. Faith, hope, be charitable. Because you can be charitable because you know that God is with us. God is with us. Understand, God is with us. We can be charitable. God is always charitable, and he was charitable to this woman of Canaan, who was not of the chosen people. So it's a blessing for us then. The happenstance, the circumstance, the things that occur, it's all a blessing for us. That we have to weather the storm and try to find blessing and grace in it and see what God is saying to us as we proceed one day at a time. So God give us strength. Glory to Jesus Christ.